I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Since I've been touring the United Kingdom, and like several other nations I've been to, I've had a recurrent decimal in my mind. And that decimal is how come our leaders come here, school here, live here, and work here, and they are not able to replicate what they see or have seen here, the United States, and several other places they've lived. This is my first time in the UK, but it's not very different from places like Germany, the Netherlands, Australia, Romania, even that I've been to. They have key principles that I have shared before now. They include value for everything. They have a maintenance culture. They have a respect for their neighbors, their society, their laws, their institutions, and the treasure contribution to society, and they value their historical precedents and all that. Why can't we copy? There are the greatest traits you need to succeed in life is the ability to copy, the ability to consult, the ability to collaborate, the ability to communicate. When you see with your eyes, this is the prefrontal cortex of your brain is inside, and it has some neurons called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons enable you to mimic what somebody else is doing. Mimic it, practice it until you perfect it. So that's why we say you practice democracy. Democracy is not perfect. You mimic it until you get to an expected level and you keep improving with the Japanese principle of Kaizen. So when you are coached, you reason with your prefrontal cortex, and then you are able to mimic what you are seeing. But if you react from the level of the midbrain, which is the amygdala level of impulse, instinct, hunger, food, sex, fight, fear, if you operate at that level of the midbrain, it's a primitive level of operation. And so your environment, everything about you will be primitive. And that's what I am seeing in the Nigerian environment, the African environment. Primitive thought process. They can't copy. So you must copy. Copying comes from visualization, conception, and then delivery. Then you must communicate, collaborate, cooperate, and concentrate on what you are building. How many C's have I mentioned? And so we lack that capacity. We still operate at the level of instinct, and animals behave that way. Even animals sometimes copy their parents. Now, there is the story of Hamilton Naki. Hamilton Naki is from Ngangani. Ngangani is in the Transkei region of the Republic of South Africa. I passed through his area, Umtata, which is Mandela's community, on my way to Port Elizabeth. Yeah, I think so. And he was employed as a gardener, but he was a huge, tall, very neat man. And when Christian Bernard was doing experiments on how to do heart transplant and even experimentation on liver transplant. Hamilton Naki was recruited to assist in the theater, and Hamilton Naki observed what was being done while he was assisting, and he became very good, perfect in that work. And I think in December 31st, 1963, 63, when Christian Bernard was to do the heart transplant, the most proficient person that they could call on was Hamilton Naki, who assisted him in the theater to remove the heart and give it to Bernard to put in the other person. And he was warned, don't ever tell any person what you did. You know, you are not supposed to touch white skin or white blood. So, but after many years, they took a picture. After many years, when they took the picture, they asked, who is that? He says, a theater assistant. But after many years, when Nelson Mandela came into power, the books were reviewed and they found out that Hamilton Naki contributed to that heart transplant operation. Naki is N-A-K-I, Hamilton is Hamilton. And they had to give him an honorary medical degree and built a hospital in his community to honor him. When they asked him, how did you manage to know how to do surgeries? At one time, he was teaching resident medical doctors how to do liver transplant in pigs. They asked him, how did you manage to know and acquire these skills? He said, I stole with my eyes. Learn to steal with your eyes. Even if people see the results, they can't arrest you. The quartz wristwatches were first displayed in a wristwatch fair in the United States of America, and the Japanese stole the technology with their eyes. They went back and mass-produced them. There are so many things. There are clothes that they bought for me at M&S. They were produced in Bangladesh, but they are selling in London at very expensive prices. Some of the t-shirts are up to 70,000 naira for one t-shirt. Some of those things, the singlets were about 50,000 naira. I can't remember, 50,000 naira for three sets, just three singlets. They were produced in Bangladesh. And so the Chinese have copied technology and their economy is booming. Why can't Africans copy? Is something wrong with our brains? I've learned to steal with my eyes. I take them home, adapt, and then modify, and then produce something that is outstanding. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.